So we're here with Stephen Page and Chris Murphy from the Trans-Canada Highwaymen, who are about to kick off a Newfoundland and Labrador tour. Thanks for joining us, guys. So you're about to hit the road for the Newfoundland and Labrador tour, which stops across the island: Stephenville, Corner Brook, Labrador West, Grand Falls, Windsor, Gander, St. John's. I know you've both been here. I know Chris has been here a lot. Stephen, I know you've been here a couple of times, I think, possibly.
A bunch of times.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about coming back to Newfoundland, coming back to the Rock?
I'm pretty excited. I've never been to Labrador before.
Oh, nice.
So that's like, it's the first time for everything.
Yeah, that'll be exciting.
It's definitely colder, much colder.
Be prepared. And it's February, so.
What?
Bring a good jacket with you, for sure.
I've never been there either.
Oh, okay, cool. So you've both never been to Labrador.
It'll be a fun experience.
I've never done like an extensive tour of Newfoundland. I've been to a bunch of different places, but I've never done something this comprehensive.
Nice. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And you guys like it here, I assume.
Love it.
That's great.
Yeah, and I had just a quick anecdote. One time, it's almost like Andrew was sick one time. This is for Sloan. Andrew was sick one time. There was an Air Canada strike one time, and we almost canceled a third time. And we were advised, if you cancel again, you can never come back. So the next time we played, we had just played in Tokyo, Japan, where we got treated like the Beatles. Then we played in St. John's, and I kind of got into a fight with the promoter because we were playing at the school and at Memorial or whatever, and I wanted it to be all ages, and it wasn't. And then there was a compromise where the all ages could be on a balcony, and I was in such a bad mood about it. And somebody kept yelling out for a song of ours called Underwhelmed. He was calling it out all night. And I was like, yeah, we're going to play it, whatever. And then he got closer and closer to the stage, and then was like, giving me the finger and telling it. And I was like, turn the lights up. I got to kick this guy out.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit.
And then as he was getting out, he's like giving me the finger, like right in my face. And then this is embarrassing. This is a long time ago. I spit in his hair. And then there was a riot.
Oh, God.
There was a riot. We got, and you know how they serve beer in red cups or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, that's because if you serve beer in cans, they are a dangerous projectile. So this was not a red show. Anyway, we just got throwing stars of beer cans and full beer cans. Really got killed. They hated. They were so mad. It was an embarrassing thing to have done, and I probably shouldn't be talking about here and painting the reputation of Stephen Page. But anyway, so I was scared to go back to Newfoundland after that. But it has become. It's just obviously you guys know it is the coolest place. I love going there, and I can't wait to come. Sorry for this story.
No,
we
that's
love it.
great. When how long ago? I mean, I've been to every one of your shows since probably the year 2000.
1998.
Oh, okay.
Probably like 8 years old.
Yeah. I just missed that.
We played that big room at Munn, like whatever, 1991 or 91, I think.
Nice.
The Thompson Student Center.
And we were there with Caitlin, Wheels, and Snake from Degrassi. They were on the same flight as us.
So
What?
And the same flight was like the flight from Sydney or whatever. And they came to the show. So we're hanging out with the cast of Degrassi.
That's so cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I'm jealous.
Okay, well, I know nobody's asked me this, but
Are you guys trying to top each other now?
We played there, we played there one time on a bill that I thought was just so hilarious. It was April Wine, Air Supply, Sloan, Amanda Marshall. Would you pay to see that?
So all blues greats.
Oh, that would have been. I was at that show. That would have been in Bay Roberts, I think. You probably don't remember that, but
Yes, exactly.
I was there.
No, it was. And the airport, it was something was happening, construction or something. There was like plywood all over the floor, mud all over the floor, and Amanda Marshall was like in head to toe white outfit with like a white fedora on the flight. Anyway.
That's great.
With all of you coming from such iconic bands, how do you decide what songs make it into your shows?
We all come from bands, except for Mo, we all come from bands where there'd be multiple writers. So we just bring the songs from those bands that we wrote. And so we kind of, when we started, we kind of made an all-star set of 16 songs, kind of 4 songs each. But more recently, we made kind of K-Tel inspired records of of early 70s Canadiana kind of thing.
Nice.
So everybody kind of swapped out one of their original songs on our 90s mixtape, and brought and now we're each playing a song or two from our early 70s, our Trans-Canada Highwaymen Explosive Hits Volume 1.
Nice.
We're all playing.
That's
Thank
great.
you. And so we're injecting that into an already jam-packed set.
That's
Cool.
awesome.
What's your favorite song to perform that one of the other guys wrote? This question's for both of you.
Oh, I mean, I have fun playing drums on either of Chris's songs that I play on. Rest of My Life is pretty fun to play.
Cool.
That is great.
Yeah, that's
I mean, and
Yeah.
we I'm an Adult Now came out in 1986, and so Stephen and I are a couple of years younger than Mo. I mean, whatever, Stephen's younger than, doesn't matter who's younger. But that came out, I was still in grade 12, so we get to play. I don't mean to speak for Stephen, but like I get to play. I think he likes it too. He barely knows it, but we get to play this song that was on TV when we were in grade 12. So it's, I get to be in the band, but I get to also fan out and be. And it's also fun. We all come from different places, and when you're a fan of all these different groups, and then they're all on stage together in these different parts of your mind. So it's like the Jetsons on the Flintstones or whatever.
Love it.
Does that help?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great song too. It's got a real like Megadeth vibe. I remember hearing that when I was younger.
How did the idea
I'm an
for
adult now. You know what? There is a Megadeth kind of. Are you talking about I'm an Adult Now?
Yeah.
I think there is a Megadeth story there. Are you making that up, or that's real?
I mean, I just listen. I'm a Megadeth
No.
fan. I just always got that kind of vibe from that particular song. I remember hearing it and be like, this kind of sounds like a Megadeth thing.
Stevens are more like Venom, Slayer, but like
That's right. So yeah,
more
Megadeth
like-
is kind of out of my wheelhouse.
Right.
But for me with playing I'm an Adult Now, I just feel like that song opened the doors for all of the rest of us,
Right.
like who wrote kind of quirky, thoughtful songs with a sense of humor. That like there wasn't really a place for that on the radio or on TV, especially in Canadian music, who have always been so terrified of mixing humor and rock until that song came around, and they gave the rest of our bands an opportunity to be goofballs.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely.
how did the idea for the Trans-Canada Highwaymen come about?
Okay, so we have a friend named Jim Milan, who is a theater director, producer, worked with Kids in the Hall and stuff like that, and he had an idea for a show that was kind of like guys from the 90s reminiscing about the 90s, and it was one of these ones where he wanted us to kind of like sit on stools across the front of the stage and have projection and cut to video and stuff like that. And we were kind of like, well, we'd like to hang out with each other. I don't know if we want to sit on stools across the front of the stage. So we thought, what if we're the band and we just trade off instruments? And that was a really fun idea. That made things totally different for us.
Which Chris, I'm sure, is used to being in Sloan and trading instruments around in that band as well.
We invented trading instruments.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and as Stephen says, I was looking for some way to sort of emulate the sort of Jetsons, Flintstones.
Battle of the Network Stars.
That's awesome.
Laugh Olympics, if you will.
Yeah. So your recent album, Explosive Hits Volume 1, takes listeners back to some pretty great Canadian songs. Can you share what inspired you to create that collection? And the album's named Volume 1. Does that mean is there going to be a Volume 2 probably later on?
Exactly. We wanted to. We thought it would be fun to have different songs. We wanted to just play hits. We could make a record together, and that's not impossible. But we thought, like, we want to go out and play the '90s mixtape or whatever. Like, wow, it's Brian Wilson, and then I'm an Adult Now, and then someone who's cool. And we thought it would be fun to kind of honor, the Canadian songbook, that song we loved as kids, and to complicate what the show is. It's a '90s but yet '70s anyway. But was a fun thing for us to do. And there's also part of it where in order to exist on Spotify or streaming, it was handy to have a record, and it was just really easy to do. We did it kind of during COVID, sent each other files, and had a fun time doing it. And then we made kind of fun, kind of KTEL inspired visuals for it. I don't know if you guys are old enough to know what KTEL is. It's just kind of like compilations that came out in the 70s and 80s of whatever, just fun compilations where they would smash like 20 songs onto a record, and they would sound terrible because
Right.
Like they would.
Yeah. So Newfoundland's known for its hospitality, and touring here often comes with some memorable experiences. What's one thing you're hoping to do or see while you're here this time around? Are you guys going to be here for a couple of days, or are you just doing the one night and leaving? What's the plan there?
I don't think we have a day off in St. John's, do we?
I don't.
I'm looking at this.
Looking at the schedule.
Or across the
Yeah,
island? Is
I
there
think,
anything you're
no,
hoping
we're
to
in
see?
Canada the night before, and then we leave the next morning. So I think we're going to go to the gig
Yep.
and do the gig, and that's about it, which is a bummer.
Oh, that's too bad. What about the rest of the island? Is there any space there for you to see something around there?
I'm hoping to see, I don't know, what do you want to see, Chris? A moose?
Well, neither of us have ever been to Labrador.
Yeah.
So that'll be a scream.
You'll see
obviously
moose
we're
there for
touring
sure.
in February, which is kind of insane. But my joke is that it takes a mixture of guts and poor planning. But anyway,
When we go to Labrador, perhaps we can see a Labradoodle.
I don't know if they're bred
wild
there, but
They're everywhere here.
they are everywhere here. Everyone has a Labradoodle now, or a golden doodle.
Or
A
a
golden
golden
doodle was
doodle.
really popular too.
For fans who haven't seen you live yet, what can they expect from a Trans-Canada Highwaymen show?
I don't know if this is for me to say, but everyone I've talked to who has seen the show, or not everyone, but I often have people say, that's the best show I've ever seen in my life. Now,
Wow.
maybe these people
Nice.
don't get out much or whatever, but it's so fun. It's all the songs. So as I say, coming from different parts of your brain, it's like, oh, I like that song, and now they're together on the same. But you're also seeing 4 people that are still having a ball doing it and getting a kick out of each other. Maybe that's not for everybody, but people who like the idea of fun, and Newfoundland's pretty fun. I think they're going to have a ball.
I think
Love
everyone's
it.
really excited. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Before we get to our little last question here, I'd like to point out, just for personally here, I named my daughter after your band, Chris. I named her Sloan because it was
Oh, wow.
the first show. My ex, well, we're separated now, so it worked out really great. But the first show we went to see together was a Sloan show in Lewisport, I think, and so we named our daughter Sloan after you guys.
Amazing. I was hoping you were talking to me when you said that.
No, we tried to name her Stephen Page, but and Bare Naked Lady, but really it wasn't having that one.
That was my joke.
Oh, sorry, man. I stepped on it. My bad.
I'm thrilled. But do you spell it with an E or not an E?
The compromise, because it was me that really wanted to do
I
it.
don't want to know about it.
Doesn't count.
I didn't want to put the E there, but it was the compromise.
Neither did I.
And finally, any last message you'd like to share with your Newfoundland fans before the tour kicks off?
Well, I mean, I love playing in Newfoundland, so it's been a long time. The last time I came to Newfoundland to play was early in my solo career, and I was doing a show. Well, I can't remember the name of the club. It was a club that was too big for me to be playing at, and nobody was there. And I went outside for a smoke before I went on stage, and I could see across George Street. There's a band, a cover band playing in another bar, absolutely packed. The bar is it's totally packed. And the band is playing Brian Wilson, and the whole bar is singing. And I'm standing outside smoking with 50 people inside of whatever was called Club 1 or something.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And like I want to go, God, hey, it's all over here. No, here. I'm the guy. But nobody came.
Oh my
so
God.
I'm going to remedy that this time by jumping on
and all
Chris's
those.
coattails.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so cool.
That's so bizarre.
My quick Newfoundland story is that I talked to a guy who was a promoter there on George Street or whatever one time, and he said he wanted to book AC/DC, and it was going to cost $1 million, and he was going to do it, but apparently the premier told him it was apparently illegal to have AC/DC come to Newfoundland because it would shut the province down. No one would go to work.
I believe it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I just
possible.
hope that doesn't happen when we get there.
That's awesome. Do you have any favorite, Chris? Do you have any, or either of you, do you have any favorite like Newfoundland acts?
I was buddies with the Novaks.
Nice.
I'm old enough to know the Thomas Trio guys.
Yeah.
I know those guys, and I know some of them in the present, but I lost touch with some of them. Hardship Post is a band that was from St. John's, and they moved to Halifax, and we became pretty close with those guys, and our little record label put out their record and stuff like that. And I have more to say about that I can't disclose right now, but if you come to the show, I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, definitely.
there you
Yeah.
go.
Yep. Steve, what about you? Anybody?
Well, I'm pals with Kelly Loader, so I'm hoping they're in town to come to the show.
Excellent.
Nice.
Kelly's great.
Yeah, we were talking about Thomas Trio. I think the first Thomas Trio show in Toronto was opening for us at Sneaky D's.
Oh, no
and they
way.
showed up in their like tour bus, and we showed up in our mom's cars.
I'm amazed that you guys remember the names of all these venues.
I know.
That's crazy.
It's like song lyrics, I guess. you
Yeah.
know?
We
gotta
played Canada Day 1992 with it was a show. It was kind of like a promotional tour that Spinal Tap were doing, where they played 3 shows in Canada in one day. They toured Canada in one day. They played in Kitty Vitty or whatever.
Yeah.
Cool.
I didn't meet them or hang out with them, but I love to say that I shared the stage with Spinal Tap
So cool.
and the
That's
Rolling
amazing.
Stones and whoever else later. It doesn't matter.
That is incredible.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much, guys, for chatting with us. It's been a pleasure.
Come down and see the show.
Yeah, we would love
Bring
to.
Sloan.
Thank you.
All right,
Bring
guys,
your
thanks so much.
daughters, Sloan and Hardship Post.
Sloan and Trans-Canada Highwaymen.
Yeah.
It's long for a driver's license.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. It was really great talking to you. I hope you have a
All right,
wonderful
thank
time
you.
here.
Hi, guys.
Have a
Good
great
luck on
tour.
your tour,
Good luck on the
guys.
tour.